here to the right, there's a gator floating out there in the grass. It says, see that black thing right out there? That's an alligator. We'll get turned around where he's right in front of us. What you're looking at is his head on the left and part of his back on the right. Alligators are real hard to find this time of year. It's because the water's still hot. It hadn't cooled off enough for them to start coming out in the daylight. We don't see a lot of them in the daylight this time of year. We'll try to get a little closer to him, but he'll probably go under. You never know where you're going to see him. It's not a real big one, but that is a gator. Yeah, he's not very big, but that is an alligator. Hopefully I'll be able to find you a bigger one. There's estimated to be somewhere between 800 and 1,000 of them in this lake alone. There's 2.5 million in the state of Florida. So if you guys need one, we have an extra one. You got a lot of gators in the UK? No. I asked a man that the other day, yesterday, or matter of fact, he was from London. I asked him that, and you know what his answer was? Only in Parliament.
So they prefer the water cold?
Well, not cold, but they're a cold-blooded animal, yeah. So they'll be the same temperature as the water. Alligators are pretty neat animals. A full-grown one can reach 15 feet or 5 meters in length, weigh over 1,000 pounds, 500 kilos. They have 80 teeth in their mouth, 3,000 pounds of bite force when they close their mouth. They can live to be over 100. They can hold their breath for over 2.5 hours. And they don't taste like chicken, like everybody says. They taste like alligator, which tastes a lot like a fried pencil eraser. So if you've never tried it, you haven't missed nothing.
What's their main prey?
Their main prey is fish, birds, snakes, turtles, and each other.
Really?
Yeah, they're very cannibalistic. Oh. They will eat things. They're real bad about eating your dogs. If you let your dogs out, they get in the water playing around. Next thing you know, you need a new dog.
Right.
They're real bad about catching your dogs. They will eat things like deer, calves. They won't eat a full-grown cow just because she's too big, but a big gator will catch a calf and eat it. Oh, right around. Maybe we'll see one eating a calf. Never know. I saw one eating a coyote, which is like a small dog,
yeah.
A small wolf here a couple months ago. You thought I was joking about hitting cows out here, didn't you? Florida is a big cattle state. We raise more beef cattle in Florida than any other state except for Texas. And these cows, they belong to the ranchers and own the property around the lake. And they just like to come out here in the lake and eat this high grass and cool off in the water. You never know where you're going to see them.
The birds.
And the birds that's sitting on their back, those are called cattle egrets. They like to stay with the cows because when they walk along, they'll scare bugs up out of the grass and the birds get to eat them.
And gators don't take cows.
No, they won't eat a full-grown cow just because she's too big. But a big gator will catch a calf and eat, occasionally. Yeah, Florida's number 2 for beef production.
Yeah.
Florida's also number 2 in bald eagle population. We have more bald eagles than any other state except for Alaska. Florida comes in second for a lot of things. Florida comes in second most of the things. But we did hit number 1 3 times. You'll love this. We're number 1 for alligator attacks, shark attacks, and being hit by lightning, we're about to say. We're the world's capital of all 3 of those. You got some kind of weird death wish, we can hook you up. There's places in Florida where you can get bit by a shark, bit by a gator, and hit by lightning all in the same spot. We'll ride around and see if we can find something a little more interesting than a cow. There's a little gator right there in the grass in front of us. Crank up, you'll be able to see him move. Yeah, you see him going through the grass right there? Not very big. He'd have high hopes of eating one of them cows.
Do they stay with their families once they're born? Are they like a family animal?
They'll kind of, the young will stay around the mother for about 1.5 years up to 2 years, and then they're on their own. They don't. They don't. Alligators are weird animals. When they're born, they're about 7 inches long, and the female will guard them to keep things from eating them when they're small. And she'll let them hang around till they're about 1.5 feet, 2 feet long, and then she'll run them off because they will eat the new ones that hatch out. So they can only stay around mom for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And they don't hunt and they don't form any family groups to speak of that last very long. Males and females, just kind of like, you know, nice to meet you. That's it. See you later. Now you might see 7 or 8, 9, 10 gators laying together up on the bank or something like that, and they're not there for each other's company. They're there because it's a good place to lay or there's a lot of food in the area. As far as being a social animal, the only time they get sociable is during the mating season.
Are they the top of the food chain?
Yes. Here, yes. South Florida, the crocodiles are top of the food chain. Gators come in a second. The saltwater, it's the sharks.
Right.
We have a tremendous amount of sharks here. We got all the big bad ones. We got the great whites, bulls, the tigers, the hammerheads. We got them all.
Is this an isolated lake, or is it fed with a...
No, this is one lake in a series of lakes that are connected from just north of here all the way to South Florida. Ah. This is the beginning of the Everglades. This is the headwaters.
Okay.
We're going to go by a canal just here. In fact, you can see the canal bank over there. It goes to another lake, and that series of lakes go all the way to the Everglades in South Florida. All this water goes down there and then dumps out into the ocean.
That's
and you can take a boat.
Miami.
What's that?
That's Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, the main part of the glade starts about Miami, just south. And you can take a boat from right here all the way to the ocean. It takes about 2 days to do it, but you can do it. And all this is rainwater, every drop of it.
Yeah.
Cormorant, except they're just a little bit sleeker, not quite so chubby. We call them snake birds. You'll see them in the water with nothing but their head sticking out, their neck, and it looks like a snake going across the top of the water, their body be under it. And they don't have any oil on their feathers like ducks do, like most birds, so when they get wet, the oil is not there, so the water soaks into their feathers. And what they're doing is they crawl up here in these trees and spread their wings out and let them dry until they can fly again. They're a fishing bird. They stay underwater fishing most of the time. And this canal is one of the canals I told you about that goes to another lake. The lake on the other end of this is the very beginning of the Everglades. It's about 4 miles down that canal to the other lake, and that's the very start of it. And all the white birds you see that I told you hanging around these cows, these are called cattle egrets. You'll see some large white birds, and there'll be different types of herons, snow herons, and we have a big blue one called a great blue heron. That's the ones that fly up in front of us you've been seeing.
You call them canals, are they natural or are they?
They used to be little creeks,
Right.
little streams, and it was called the Kissimmee River is what it was called. It really, it's not a river, it's what you think of, it's more of a stream, creek. And back in the 50s they came in here and they channelized them. And the reason they did that was to let some of this water out of here. And Florida is very flat, and water doesn't run off of it very well.
Yeah.
And now when they did that, they can control the amount of water that they leave in the lakes. There's spillways up here on the canals, like little dams every so often.
Yeah.
So they can control how much water they let out or they hold back. And normally they hold it back this time of year, but they've been letting it out for some reason.
Right.
Springtime's when they lower the lakes down in case we get a big hurricane during the summer. You're only 48 feet above sea level right here.
Right.
You're not very high off of the ocean floor.
So they are actively managing the whole landscape.
They're actively doing something to it. There's nothing for the better. This lake, when I was a kid, it had a white sand beach around it.
Really?
Most of these lakes did.
Huh.
You could walk off in them and you could see your feet like knee deep. Now the water's supposed to be this color. This tannic acid is what stained it this color.
Yeah.
But you could see your feet, you know, from about knee deep water. You could see your feet in the water. And it was all sand, the sand bottom. Now the bottom is turned to muck. The lakes are slowly dying, and it's all because of them trying to manage nature. We have so many invasive species here now, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.